I think that answered our question. Let's continue the conversation right now. Ron L, who will be at our event on Saturdays next. What's up, Ron?
Hey Jake, hey guys, how you doing?
Hey, Ron.
Yeah, I'll be there Saturday. Just to comment on the whole the record coming up this year. I'm the biggest optimist. I've been through all of them. Joe Walton, everybody, all Rich Kotite, and I'll tell you what I saw last year. Some of the dumb things that Aaron Glenn did. I'm an Aaron Glenn fan as a player and stuff, but I just don't. I hope he changes this year, learns everything. But he did some of the worst things you could imagine, and the team just played so poorly that when you look at if they lose that first game, who knows what's going to happen? It could be a disaster. You could be 0-7. It could really snowball. I'm hoping, like I said, I'm an optimistic fan. I have always been, but I'm really, really nervous. Like I said, starting out with a loss, they just played like crap. I mean, we could be talking 0-6, 0-7. I'm hoping not, but we saw it last year, and I just hope that Glenn comes out in camp this year and I don't know, he has to totally change everything he did this year. Everything he did was bad. I didn't like anything. And I know the players feel that. They know when their leader on the sideline, like Garrett Wilson last year, they know when they look in his eyes and he's lost or he doesn't have the answers or if he's, mumbling. And he doesn't. You need a leader, and if they don't see it early, if they fall apart early, it could be really tragic. So anyway, just throwing that out. I know I haven't been on in a while, Jack. I moved from Binghamton to Jersey, so it's just a pain in the ass. So anyway, but I'm here. I'll see you guys Saturday. I won't be wearing a Speedo. I won't show you. But I look forward to seeing all you guys in your Speedos. I'm just kidding. Another thing is, Doc last week, I've been watching. I just haven't been able to call much. But he brought up a point. I don't know his real name, but it was Doc. It talked about Kenyon Sadiq. We always look at quarterbacks differently, like, oh, they have to play 40 games, they have to play so many years. And I know Kenyon Sadiq, he makes me nervous. I didn't like the pick there early because when you go back, even the last like 5 to 10 years of tight ends, even way back through history, these tight ends, the ones that were really good coming out, they played 4 seasons and they had great statistics. Sadiq did it for 1 season. And, we don't know about his real true blocking skills after just having 1 season as a starting decent tight end. I know he's known for drops. All my receivers, running backs, tight ends, if they drop the ball, so I hope he changes that. If they're a dropper, a lot of times you can't teach that. Hopefully, I know some do, but it's not easy. So once again, the chance of Sadiq, and I hate hearing the whole he's a physical god and all. I don't care about it. Give me a fat, 300-pound tight end if you have to that can just catch the ball and get open. But so I'm nervous about those things. That, and once again the schedule. I looked at the schedule several times. I keep going over and go, boy, if we lose that first game, we could be 0-4, 0-5, and then it starts to become, contagious. What are your opinions on that, guys?
Yeah, look, I think it's a totally fair point, Ron. Looking forward to meeting you in person on Saturday. Sadiq would be an outlier if he's great right away. Most tight ends, it takes a little bit at that position. We've been spoiled the last few years with Bowers and Loveland and Warren, but we got to feel like the talent is there for Sadiq to be one of the better tight ends in the league. Like that should flash when we see him. I'm not gonna, predict him to be amazing, but I do think that pick, a lot of it comes down to Geno and then really Frank Reich putting Sadiq in positions to make plays, because Frank Reich was like the engine behind that pick. If you go and watch all the videos the Jets have released from inside the war room that night. So look, I think I like Sadiq a lot. I didn't love the pick in real time if you watch the video live from draft night, because I was concerned about not getting a receiver, but I feel better about the pick and the process because they did trade back in and got Cooper. And let's just hope that the two of them combined, at least one of them hits this year, and we feel good about for the offense going forward.
Yeah, I wouldn't really, and Jake, we've been saying this for a little bit too. I've been trying to do my best to tell Jets fans to temper the expectations, but it's kind of hard when, you see the physical ability, you see the 16th overall pick, and you're like, okay, I'm seeing other tight ends do this, but Kenyon Sadiq is not. he's not going to be Colson Loveland. And I would love to be wrong. I can see, some of the chat, they're probably going to let me know, about my take here in a second. I would love for him to be Colson Loveland, but I just don't see that. I think that if we look at the tight end room as a whole, and I think if we talked about this, if we could get 1,100 yards of production from the tight end room as a whole and about 8 touchdowns from all 3 of those guys, I would think that that's a home run, because I think tight end is a really hard position to transition into the NFL. So you look at Travis Kelce, he had, it was a bit of a developmental runway. You even look at Kyle Pitts, and Kyle Pitts was one of the most highest rated tight ends coming out of college. Some people thought that he was going to be plug and play and really change the fabric of how tight ends are used. And even then, he hasn't really had a dominant season yet. He's had some good seasons. I'm a huge fan of Kyle Pitts, but he hasn't really looked at, has his production warranted being the 4th overall pick? Some would say no. So I think that position is going to take a little bit of time. You even look at Vernon Davis, Jake, who I think at his, his highest of his powers, being what we think they should be. I think that Kenyon Sadiq could be a Vernon Davis. So what I will say, Ron, is that you're right. Don't look for elite production from Kenyon Sadiq. Look for good production from the tight end room as a whole, and then Kenyon Sadiq slowly turning into what Vernon Davis was when he was at his peak powers. And I will say one thing I will say, and I know that Joe Blewett talked about this as well. So Kenyon Sadiq is a willing blocker. So if you see Kenyon Sadiq coming out as an H-back or being a lead blocker for Breece Hall in some of these situations or some misdirection plays, Kenyon Sadiq is going to get out there and block. And if they're in, we'll call it, let's say 12 personnel, those are going to be 2 willing tight end blockers. If you even have, we'll call it 10 personnel or 11 personnel, and you have Kenyon Sadiq playing big slot, he's going to block. So I would favor Kenyon Sadiq in a blocking assignment versus a nickel and versus a linebacker and versus a safety. So he's going to block, and he's going to be that X piece. I would say, I hate to bring up this guy, but the way Aaron Hernandez was used as the second tight end, I think that's how Kenyon Sadiq should be employed.
Look, if he's Aaron Hernandez minus the murderers, I think we take that as a player for sure.
yeah. I do my best to try not to bring up Aaron Hernandez, but he was so good. He was so good on the field.
But yes, he was a killer on and off the field, as we know. There's no doubt. Tyrone in the raffle for 2. He says, I see Glenn as a bridge coach for the new coach. We'll pick the QB even if they have a good year. They will still need a QB and an offensive coach, maybe O'Connell or someone else, in my opinion. In the end, please win. Look, Glenn and Gino both could just be here for one more year together. And that's a real reality here. Like we talk about a bridge quarterback. Glenn could be the coach that delivers you the top 5 pick and sets you up with that pick and cap space, and Muji's here and hiring a coach. Or Aaron Glenn could prove last year was an anomaly and he's actually a good coach. He took over the defense. The defense dramatically improved. They win games they're not supposed to, and they have a fun year, which teams do in the NFL. Every year there's teams that make the playoffs they did in the prior year. There's a team every year in the league that goes from worst to first. That's what makes the Jets playoff drought so historically impossible to fathom. It's a league built for parity. You're not supposed to stay this bad for as long as the Jets have been.
Yeah, it's actually shocking that every time I say it out loud, I'm like, how did we even get to this point? Honestly, Jake, I think the perfect storm for us would probably be the Jets win 8 games. All the rookies look great. Let's say that they missed the playoffs, and then we have our pick of the litter for an offensive coach, and the Colts get us the number 1 overall pick. Everybody's happy.
You got it, bro. When it comes to that hot seat, man, that seat is scorching, man. Us fans, listen, we're a collective. We want to see the wins, man. What Jet fan doesn't like, tanking for who? We ain't on that, man. Right now, we want to see some wins to avoid all that other stuff, man. Because if the wins don't happen, man, then it's gonna, the noise, man, the roars, everything's gonna start getting a lot louder, man. And for us, man, us diehards, we really don't want to talk about the stuff, man. We don't want to talk about next season. We're already in the off season, looking forward to this upcoming season, man. This with Jake leading the charge, man, with the must win, man. It's a must win week 1. And if our team doesn't have that mentality, then don't even show up. Don't even show up if you're not taking this as a must win game. beating Salah, beating Tennessee. Like, yo, we don't really have anybody left from that regime, man. So right now they gotta feel like, okay, we're better than that. And yo, really, really put it to them, man. We have all this time. We have a lot of time to game plan. We got the coaches in the building. We got the talent. Yo, they got to really come through, man. Otherwise, all this coaching stuff, it's gonna be legit, man. The KOC stuff, it's a real thing, man.
I agree.
For sure.
I agree. Getting off to a good start's paramount. I mean, people think it's too extreme to call week one a must win, but I look at it through the lens of you can't win week one. I'm going to expect you to then beat the Packers, the Lions, the Bears. It's easier to sell me on you can find a win over your next three if you win week one. And even if you can't, 1-3 playing the Browns, 2-3, and then of your next three games, two of them are the Raiders and the Dolphins. Like you could be 3-5 through your first 8, maybe 4-4. Like there's a path to being relevant and building confidence and actually having a season.
I just think you can't just continue to keep building for the future. At some point, you have to establish who you're going to be as a franchise, as a coach, and even as a player. And I don't even say this like as a personal thing. Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, and a lot of these guys, they are losers. Like personally, I don't think that they're losers, but as football players, as Jets players, they are losers. They haven't really won anything. So at some point, you have to turn this thing around because a lot of us want Garrett Wilson to retire here. A lot of us want Breece Hall to at least be here for another contract signing. You know, we want Olu and Membu to be guys that we associate with winning. So that's just where I'm at, Chef. I'm with you. I can't even I'm looking at the 2027 quarterback class. That's just because it's my hobby and it's my job to do. But again, I'm not looking. I can't even think about the 2027 draft because we have an entire season. We have 17 games to go. So I can't be miserable for what is it? 5 months, Jake? I just can't do it.
The Jake Asman Show is now presented by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is a daily fantasy app made simple. Just pick more or less on your favorite players' projections and build your lineup in seconds. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. And PrizePicks is already offering NFL futures, including futures for New York Jets players. Take a look at the lineup that you see on the screen. Garrett Wilson, more than 4.5 reception touchdowns. David Bailey, he's going to have at least 7 sacks his rookie year. Arvell Reese, almost a Jet. I think he'll have at least 3 sacks in his rookie year with the Giants. That is a 3-pick power play, $10 to pay out $60. That is just an example of some of the lineups you can make over at PrizePicks. Make your own lineups today for any sport. Just download the PrizePicks app, use the code HMA, and get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup.
So, Chef Kev had a really good call earlier. I'm still living off the Knicks high. So, normally when we go from mini camp to training camp, I'm chomping at the bit like really bad I'm very impatient. But with this Knicks title, I'm not going to lie, I'm a very, very big Knicks fan. So if it still feels good, I couldn't imagine the Jets winning and how good it would feel. Just how good the Knicks win feels. So I'm still doing good there. I've been working on my basement. My buddy's been coming up every weekend. I'm finishing my basement, just me and him. So I've been grinding. And like you said, dude, we've been crazy at the store. It's been awesome. I gotta say, I've been caking there. It's been good, dude. we've been very busy. So it's been awesome. But this Jet stuff, man.
Beast wants to watch Rex, by the way, if you need a babysitter for your dog.
Well, he might get to on the October Miami game because I would not miss that game for my life. Beast yes. on the grill, baby. What?
Beast feast in L5. It's going down.
Can't wait. But hey, back to Jets. I am so excited. I have no worry. I can't even, like Chef said, when you're a hardcore fan, you can't even think about next year right now. Aaron Glenn has done enough to set himself up for just this year and how he performs. And he's done everything from letting Frank Reich handpick who he wants in the draft, and for everyone down on Sadiq, we would have all been happy with Cooper at that pick, and then we ended up still getting Cooper. And we all would have been happy with Pons at our second round first head pick. So I think we did pretty good in the draft. And I feel like Glenn has put enough pressure already on himself calling the plays and talking about superpowers, that if this year collapses, we are set up perfectly for Muji to get his chance at a quarterback. Like, we just went through this with Douglas and Gase, where Gase brought in Douglas. Gase got fired, and because Douglas did a good job in the draft, and then Douglas got a chance to pick his guy. So I see that exact situation available for Muji if Glenn fails. It seems like Muji has done so good before, because quarterback is everything. If we didn't miss on Zach Wilson, we still have Joe Douglas. So,
Yes, I'm on the thing. I'm busy. I'll talk to you in a little bit, okay?
So I have nothing but positive excitement for all the rookies and all the young talent we have on this team to watch them develop. And even if because Glenn has so many veterans on the defense that he doesn't have a good excuse to be awful like last year where it was embarrassing.
Agreed.
We have too many veterans. If it goes bad, it's all Glenn's fault. He's calling the plays. He handpicked the free agents. He brought in all his veteran guys to stabilize the defense. So I'm very excited to see what this young core can do. And sucks, of course, we got to lead this offseason with Geno and all the bullshit with there. But I'm excited, man. The excitement is still here. And I can't even think about next year right now. We got to get through training camp and watching, how Geno performs. And we got so many positives to look. Mason Taylor, A.D. Mitchell. We have so many. Brees just got signed. He's going to be a dog out there. Garrett's on the rebound off of an injury. We have a guy who's not scared to get people the ball. Like, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. So.
Hey, here's the deal. Just got no chance unless you click on that like button. And you got to make sure you subscribe to the Jake Asman Show. You don't, you can get the f*** out. Now let's go, Asmaniacs. We're built for this shit.